Hey guys, my name is David Miller. I'm a Phoenix, Arizona multimedia artist, photographer, videographer, and educator. I'm going to talk to you today about my new baby, which is actually a Lensbaby. And Lensbabies are unique lenses that go on a variety of cameras. You buy it corresponding to the brand of camera you have. So this one is for a Fuji X mount because I shoot with Fuji cameras. And this is the Composer Pro 2 with sweet 50mm optic. I had a Lensbaby a long time ago when I used Nikon cameras. It was not the Composer, it was something you had to kind of move around free-handed. It was kind of like having a vacuum cleaner hose attached to the end of my camera. It was really cheap. And I used it a lot. I had a few models who actually would only let me photograph them with a Lensbaby because I guess they liked the smeary, ethereal effect. That cheap Lensbaby happened to have magnetic apertures that you would lose constantly. It was something special, and I love gimmicks. I love in-camera effects. Fast forward a few years, I've had Fuji cameras for a while, and Lensbaby did not offer the X mount for a long period of time. In the past year or so, they've started coming out with lenses that will go on them. So here's what you get. You get your Lensbaby. And the Composer is such that when you bend it on its axis, it's going to keep the tilt, unlike some of the cheaper Lensbabies where you have to constantly maneuver with your index fingers. The range of apertures, we go from 2.5 all the way to f/22. And when you're down at f/22, the effect is not as pronounced, obviously, because it's going to be a wider depth of field. But if you really want a pronounced, zoomed, kind of ethereal effect with your Lensbaby, you're gonna be sticking around f4, f2.8, and 2.5. So let's take this out in the field and see how it works on a model shoot. So here's what a few of my pictures look like, shot with the Lensbaby and model McKenzie Eckels. Now you'll note that it says f1.0 over here. That's because the metadata of your aperture settings are not recorded with the Lensbaby. So that first picture was more of like an f11, but you can definitely see there's a lot more sharpness in the very first photo. This is the only one I've really edited so far, and it has a style which is similar to the early 20th century called pictorialism. And I really enjoy that style of photography. It was very expressive and emotive, and Mackenzie's an actress, and we had a hair and makeup artist, Stevie Rosalie, who did an amazing retro style hair and makeup job on her. And so it really suits the project. If it tells a story, that's what's most important to me, and looking at these, the story is better told when there's this sort of zoomed out ethereal effect. And in fact, these pictures that have kind of a religious theme to them, it just felt like we were inviting some mystical element in the picture. And from a technical kind of commercial photography standpoint, this might be perceived as a gimmick, but I did take some versions of these that were totally sharp front to back, and I feel like just that little hint of mysticism really makes a big difference and actually tells the story a lot better in these particular images. So one of the first things you need to do when you attach your Lensbaby is dig into your menu in the Fuji. So I'm using an X-T2, and it is under button dial setting, a place that you wouldn't expect it to be, but it's shoot without lens. So I currently have mine on, and once I have it set on, I can leave it on for the rest of my camera's natural life. If you don't turn this switch on, then your camera won't register the Lensbaby and it will not take a picture. I love the construction of this. It feels super durable. It does not feel like the cheap plastic stuff that you get with some of the cheaper Lensbabies. If you're anything like me, you're kind of rough with your gear, and $100, $200 extra is not so bad if you never have to replace the lens. If you go cheap, and you get stuff that breaks, that gets punctured, and you're gonna have to replace it anyways, all of a sudden it's not so cheap anymore. So after a few years of going Lensbaby-less, I'm really pleased to have it as part of my arsenal again. In-camera effects, things that make the images look a little more mystical, are very important to me. And I don't really care if there's decreased sharpness or increased contrast, because the kind of photography that I am interested in is imaginative and it is not based in reality. I would not recommend this for a kind of photographer who is 100% all about the sharp, pristine image, and you want natural contrast and everything front to back identifiable. But if you're somebody who likes the more imaginative type of work where things don't have to be in focus and they don't have to make sense, by all means, check out a Lensbaby. If you have any comments about this video, let me know down below. If you're a Lensbaby user or a wannabe user, I'd love to hear from you. Also check out the rest of the videos on my YouTube channel. I got some tutorials, I got some gear reviews, and I got some of my own video art. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.